love. Get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's talk about something sacred, powerful, and real: the divine feminine no contact glow up, and how to actually rise while your twin flame catches up. This isn't about playing games, pretending not to care, or trying to win anything. This is a soul level journey, a beautiful unraveling, and eventually, a becoming. So let's dive into it, piece by piece, and help you understand why this phase, no matter how lonely or confusing it may feel, is actually one of the most powerful initiations of your life. When you're in the thick of it, the silence, the distance, the aching wondering if they'll ever come back, it's easy to feel like no contact is punishment, like you've done something wrong, or like the universe is being cruel. But let me stop you right there. No contact, especially for the divine feminine, is not a dead end. It's a divine invitation, a sacred pause, a soul-designed break from the chaos so you can finally hear yourself again. Think of it like this. You've been swimming in the ocean with your twin, tangled up in waves of passion, confusion, mirroring, triggering, longing, all of it. And now suddenly you've been placed on the shore, alone. At first you panic, you feel abandoned, but slowly something changes. You begin to notice how peaceful it is, how much space you finally have to stretch, breathe, cry, laugh, be. That's the glow up. That's where it starts. Most divine feminines enter no contact feeling like the chaser, the giver, the one who always understands, the one who feels everything. But no contact shifts the lens. It's not about waiting for them to reach out. It's not about staying glued to signs and synchronicities and hoping they'll finally get it. It's about using this break as a breakthrough. No contact doesn't mean no love. It just means redirection. The love is still there, deep, eternal. But it's time to turn that love inward. Not because you're giving up, but because you're growing up spiritually. You're maturing. You're embodying the energy your twin flame was always meant to mirror back. But this time you're doing it without needing their presence to make it real. So let's walk through what this glow up really looks like. Not from the outside, but from the soul. We'll explore how to shed what's been weighing you down, how to rise into your power without losing your softness, and how to truly ascend while they take the time they need to awaken. This isn't about rushing union. It's about becoming the kind of woman, the kind of soul who doesn't wait for love, but becomes it. And that's when everything starts to shift. Number 1, reclaiming your emotional space. Let's start here, because this is where the majority of divine feminines bleed out their energy without even realizing it. Emotional space. When you're deeply connected to your twin, you're naturally tapped into their energy. You feel their highs, their lows, their confusion. You pick up on their moods like a radio tuned into a frequency. And without knowing it, you start to live half in their world, half in yours. But in no contact, you're being called to unplug from that. Not to disconnect in a cold way, but to center yourself again. You're not meant to carry both loads. That's not sacred union. That's self-abandonment. And if you keep checking their socials, stalking their energy in your meditations, or obsessing over their growth timeline, you're not holding space. You're holding pressure. So start gently pulling your energy back. Notice where your thoughts automatically run to them, and without judgment, guide them back to yourself. Instead of wondering what they're doing, ask yourself what you need. Instead of waiting for a message, ask yourself what message you need to hear from you. You might feel empty at first. That's normal. Think of it like detoxing. You've gotten used to filling your emotional space with the buzz of their presence. But the longer you hold that space for yourself, the more you'll realize that emptiness isn't emptiness, it's openness. It's room for your own energy to finally breathe. And this is where real healing starts to happen. You begin to cry not just for them, but for the parts of you that have been neglected. You begin to laugh again, not because you're pretending to be over it, but because you're remembering who you are outside of the chaos. You begin to feel things deeply, not because you're stuck, but because you're safe enough to be present. This is your emotional homecoming. You're no longer living in their energy field. You're not waiting in emotional limbo. You're here, rooted, real, present. And from this place, you can actually begin to heal in a way that doesn't depend on their return. Number 2, healing the inner masculine. This is a big one, and it often goes overlooked. As the divine feminine, Your journey isn't just about healing your emotions or connecting with your intuition. It's also about healing the masculine energy within you. Why? Because most of us project our wounded masculine onto our twin. The parts of us that didn't feel protected, seen, or provided for often get mirrored in their behavior, and it becomes a never-ending cycle of disappointment. So what does it mean to heal your inner masculine? It means becoming your own source of support, your own stability, your own direction. It doesn't mean you become cold or hyper-independent. It means you stop waiting for someone else to be the one who shows up for you. Start small. Look at the areas of your life where you still expect your twin, or any man, to swoop in and fix something. Do you fantasize about them rescuing you from financial stress, loneliness, emotional overwhelm? That's the part of you that's still handing away your power. Instead, take your energy back, create structure in your day, set boundaries, follow through on your goals, even when no one is watching. When your emotions flood you, be the one who creates a safe container for them, not by suppressing them, but by holding them with calm, grounded presence. That's the inner masculine. As you strengthen that part of you, something incredible happens. Your twin doesn't feel like a missing piece anymore. They become a sacred mirror, but the neediness dissolves. The urgency fades. You stop looking at them as the answer and start becoming the answer for yourself. And ironically, that's when they start to shift too. Because remember, you're always energetically linked. When you rise in your own inner balance, you create a ripple effect. You stop chasing, you stop overgiving, you stop bleeding out your feminine essence trying to get their attention. Instead, you radiate a calm, balanced, powerful energy that calls them into their own alignment without a single word. That's the real glow up, not just being unbothered on the outside, but being solid, soft, and sovereign on the inside. That's when everything starts to click. Number 3, awakening your sacred mission. Let's talk about purpose, because this is the part of the journey most divine feminines don't realize they've been delaying. When you're tangled in the twin flame dynamic, especially during union separation cycles, your life can quietly revolve around the relationship, even if you're doing other things. Thoughts, your energy, your intentions, they're always orbiting that person. But here's the truth. Your mission is not them. Your mission is you. And through you, others are meant to be touched, helped, healed, awakened. The glow up in no contact isn't just emotional or spiritual, it's also deeply practical. You're meant to rise into the actual work your soul came here to do. Ask yourself, what have I been putting off? What have I been scared to start because I felt like I couldn't focus until they returned? What lights me up but keeps getting pushed aside for emotional processing? This is your invitation to start. Not in a rushed hustle culture way, but in a soulful, heart-guided, devoted way. Whether it's creating art, sharing your voice, stepping into healing work, or building something tangible, this is the moment. And the more you pour into it, the less anxious you'll feel about their journey, because you're finally living yours. You'll also notice something wild. The more you anchor into your purpose, the more you start to understand the separation. You realize that this time apart wasn't a mistake. It was a requirement. The relationship had to take a back seat so your mission could move to the front. Because your soul knew this is what you came here for. And here's the most beautiful part. Your purpose won't take you away from your twin flame. It'll lead you right back to them, but in a completely new vibration. One where you're not just in love, you're in alignment. You're not just wanting connection, you are connection. So let this be the season you finally show up for the world the way you've always dreamed of. You'll be amazed at how the universe responds when you stop shrinking for love and start expanding for purpose. Number 4, rising into embodiment, not just understanding. By now, you've probably consumed more spiritual content than you ever thought possible. Watched videos, read posts, analyzed signs, tried to make sense of the separation. And let's be real, the mind loves it. It gives you the illusion of control. It makes you feel like you're doing something. But the glow up, it doesn't come from knowing more. It comes from being more, from living it, from embodiment. Embodiment means you stop trying to understand your twin flame connection and start becoming the frequency it was meant to activate in you. Love, softness, power, trust. Not as theories, but as lived realities. So what does that look like in your day-to-day life? It means setting the phone down when you feel the urge to check if they viewed your story. Breathing into your body instead of spiraling into mental loops. Speaking to yourself with tenderness instead of judgment. Making decisions that align with your soul, not your fear of being left behind. It's choosing peace even when your ego wants answers. It's allowing joy even when your heart still aches. It's saying yes to life again and again, even if their presence is absent. Embodiment is a quiet revolution. It doesn't always look dramatic on the outside, but internally, it's powerful, because this is where you shift from thinking about healing to actually living it. And here's the key. You don't need your twin to change in order to do this. You don't need the connection to be working on the surface, because the connection always works. Even in separation, it's doing what it came here to do, breaking you open, awakening you, and guiding you home to yourself. But to receive the full medicine of this journey, you have to stop waiting and start embodying. Let your choices reflect your healing. Let your energy tell the truth. You're not half of a soul. You're a full, living, breathing, radiant being, and your life is happening now. As you start to walk in that truth, your glow becomes undeniable. Not because you're trying to prove anything, but because you're finally living in alignment with your essence. Your twin will feel that shift. Whether they say anything or not, they'll feel it. And more importantly, you'll feel it. And that feeling? That's freedom. Number 5, rewiring the narrative of union. One of the sneakiest ways we stay stuck during no contact is by clinging to a very specific image of what union is supposed to look like. We fantasize about the return, the message, the moment they finally realize. And while that's natural, it can quietly trap us in waiting mode, which is the opposite of glowing up. So here's the truth. Union isn't a moment. It's a frequency. And it starts within you. It doesn't mean you give up on your twin flame. It means you stop needing the story to unfold in a certain way in order to feel whole, peaceful, or loved. You stop bargaining with the universe. You stop timing your healing to their growth. You begin to rewrite the narrative. Instead of when they come back, I'll feel better, it becomes every day I choose alignment, I get closer to my soul. Instead of we're meant to be together and it's not fair we're apart, it becomes our separation is a sacred mirror, helping me rise into who I was always meant to be. This shift is powerful, not just spiritually, but energetically. When you stop tying your well-being to union, you break the cords of attachment. You no longer feed the dynamic with fear, urgency, or scarcity. You rise above the loop, and from there, you create space for something deeper to emerge. A union that isn't just romantic, but truly divine. Start looking at union differently. See it not as a goal to chase, but as a vibration to live in. Notice when you feel most aligned, when you're creating, loving, serving, laughing, trusting. That's union. That's you becoming what the relationship was always meant to reflect. And if your twin is meant to meet you in that space, they will. But either way, you won't lose, because you've already found the thing you were looking for. Yourself. That's the plot twist. That's the glow up. Union was never about finding each other. It was about becoming the version of you that no longer needs to be found. Number 6, softness as strength. The feminine power in letting go. Let's talk about softness, because somewhere along the way, we've been taught that letting go means hardening. That if you stop waiting, you have to stop caring. That if you move on, you have to pretend you never loved them at all. But that's not the divine feminine way. The true feminine glow-up isn't built on bitterness or detachment. It's built on openness, on loving so deeply, so wildly, and so freely that you don't need to possess anything to feel whole. That's power. That's softness. And it's not weakness. It's a strength most people will never understand. Softness is sitting with your grief without rushing it away. It's missing them without making it mean you're broken. It's crying when you need to, laughing when the sun hits your face, and allowing life to move through you even in the absence of clarity. You don't need to become unbothered. You need to become unburdened. There's a difference. One is performative. The other is real. Letting go doesn't mean erasing them. It means you release the attachment to the outcome. You let go of the timeline. You release the fantasy. And in that release, you make space for something real to take root. Keep your heart open. Don't shut down to protect yourself. That only delays the healing. Let yourself be soft, because in that softness, you remember who you are. You remember that love never leaves you, that you're not waiting for someone else to bring it to you. You are it. And when they're ready, if they're ready, you won't need to ask them to love you. They'll feel it in your energy, they'll see it in your radiance, and they'll know you've returned home to yourself. That's the kind of feminine that shifts timelines. Not the one who waits, not the one who begs, but the one who becomes. Fully, softly, powerfully. The divine feminine glow up during no contact is about returning to yourself. You stop chasing, start healing, and rise into purpose. You embody love, not lack. And as you soften, not shrink, you awaken your power. You're not waiting for union, you become it. That's when everything begins to shift.